right, guys. Thank you so much for hopping on. It is May 5th. It is our Team Vibe, Team Fit4Life call. And thank you. We had to do a Zoom today. I apologize. I have a 3-year-old who's trying to see everybody. Okay, so thank you for doing Zoom today. I did not even want to try to learn YouTube for like one day to do all that for Corey, since she is coming back from Miami. I don't like her right now. Anyway, so Cara Huebner is talking to us today, which I am excited to hear her topic, because I think follow-up is where most of us probably fail as a coach. So she's going to share some tips and she just said some statistics with us too on why follow-up is probably key to definitely building your business. So just some things about Cara. If you don't follow Cara, Cara might be possibly one of the funniest people ever. Her page is quite entertaining. She is definitely the mom life. Like, she could have her own like show. It's so funny. I like go to her page if I'm in a bad mood, just so I can sit and laugh, because she just kills me. So anyway, she is a great coach. She's going to share her story, but you know, I knew from the get-go that Cara and I would definitely get along, because she's just my kind of people. She's just calm, and I just love her to death, and I'm excited to get to see her next week. So love getting to hang out with her. But she is a 2015, she hit Success Club 5 All-Star. Yes. She has hit 17 out of 18 months of hitting Success Club. So she knows that that is a very important part and vital part to building your business. She has made that a no matter what from day one, you know, when she jumped into working her business, and she helped 89 people. I'm trying to look at this paper, writing all over it, you know, 89 people in 2015. And that was a really cool report that we got, by the way.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Told you how many people you helped. So 89, that's awesome. That's an awesome number of people to help. So I'm going to toss it over to you if you're ready, and I'll mute so no one can hear this child. So,
it's fine.
Hey.
I have my kids. I sent one kid to the neighbors, and I have one sick kid home, and I told him he was on lockdown. So can you guys hear me okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I just wanted to start with saying that I'm super excited to do this. In all of my training through college of leadership and speaking, they've always said, and you guys know, you should always start with an icebreaker, right? To kind of like settle yourself down. So my icebreaker today is going to be the very awesome text message that my husband just sent me 15 minutes before we started this. So it's super sweet. And he actually is the funny one. I just kind of fill in the gaps. But so this is what he says. Good luck today. You have nothing to be nervous about. You are the smartest, most articulate, compassionate, caring person I know. You are inspiring to more people than you can ever imagine. Keep believing and stepping outside of your comfort zone, and you will rock this business. I love you. P.S. Sometimes you're a bitch, but the good outweighs the bad. My name's Cara. I am a diamond coach of Jamie's. I started this business in December of 2014, I believe. I, like most of you, started as a challenger. I actually found Jamie. It's just so odd. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for, I hate to say this, 20 years. I actually found Jamie. I don't even know, Jamie, if you know this, but I had kind of let myself go and had always been fit and into fitness. And I had decided after I had gained about 30 pounds that I needed to lose the weight. And one of my really good friends who lives in Lagodi, Jackie Lannon, said, you have to meet my friend Jamie. She runs these online challenge groups, and I think that you would just be really good at it. And you know, I think it's for you. So I actually just got on Facebook and looked up Jamie and connected and got engaged in one of her challenge groups, and that's kind of how it started. So I am I'm 40. How old am I? 41 years old. I'm 41 years old. I'm a mom of 4. I have 4 boys that keep me busy. and I am a nurse. I actually have 4 degrees. They're all in healthcare and nursing. I have a master's degree in leadership and management, and I am a registered nurse. So you would think that with a master's degree in leadership and management that this business would be a piece of cake for me, right? But I think that it just goes to show that, you know, this business is for anybody, and it's difficult and, you know, to some degree, and it's easy to some degree, but you don't have to have a degree in order to do it, right? I mean, you can be a stay-at-home mom, or you can have a master's degree, and we can all be successful at the same level. It doesn't really matter. So that's interesting to me, to see people from, you know, all realms of life coming into this business. I am by no means an expert. I'm going to talk to you guys today about follow-up, and I'm by no means an expert, but I have consistently added at least 3 people or more every month since I started this business to my challenge groups. And I've done that by following up, and I've learned a lot, and I'm still learning. And I learned a lot even as I researched this topic that I was going to talk to you guys today about. Challenge groups, and I hate to use the word sales, but challenge groups and sales are what I'm strong at. And, you know, they always say either you're really strong at building challenge groups, or you're really strong at building a team. And, you know, the building team part is something that I have to work on. But challenge groups are definitely my strength. So I wanted to start with some statistics. So if you know me, you know that I am a little bit of a type A research kind of girl. So I did a lot of research as I was doing this. So I want you guys, if you have a chance to write this down, do, because it was very interesting to me. And my husband, who is also in sales and has been in sales his entire life, read this stuff that I wrote down. He was like, oh my gosh, can you copy that for me? I'm going to hang it on my wall at work. So get this. And I'm going to read it. I apologize. But 48% of people never follow up with a prospect. 48%. 25% of people make a second contact and stop. 12% of people make more than 3 contacts. So we can immediately, think about this, we can immediately shoot ourselves to the top 12% by making more than 3 contacts. That's all you have to do. Follow up 3 times, you're in the top 12%. So on average, and you guys can unmute yourself, I don't care about the noise, or you can hold up fingers, I don't care. On average, how many follow-ups do you do with the same person?
200.
200.
About 2.
2 to 3.
No,
so, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, another statistic that because this is fascinating. 7 to 15 times before someone says yes.
Absolutely. And
I coached last week, 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So just throw that out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first started, I really didn't follow up well. I would ask somebody one time, and I thought, well, I asked them, they're not interested, I'm not going to bother them again. And even up until recently, I probably stopped at 2, maybe 3. Okay, but get this, and Christine, this kind of goes along with what you were talking about. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. 3% on the second contact. 5% on the third contact. 10% on the fourth contact. 80% on the 5th contact or above. So this means that 12% of the people are making 80% of the sales, right? So if we stop at 3, we are not contacting people enough. We're not getting in front of people enough in order to make that sale. And again, I keep saying sale, and I apologize. This is going to be a talk today about business, and I'm just going to throw that out there to you. We are a business of helping. We are a business of engaging, and that's what we do. But the bottom line, just like healthcare and just like, you know, being a nurse, it is a business. And so today is a business talk. So if that turns you off, then, you know, you can turn me off if you want. So one of the things, and I found this interesting as I was looking at this, one of the things that as a nurse leader and a nurse executive at the hospital that we always talked about, how do we teach our nurses? How do we ingrain our nurses to do things right, to follow best practice, to do things according to standard? And there was a term that we used, and you guys may know it or may not, but we called it 8 times 8 ways. And so studies show that in order for something to be ingrained in your brain, you have to do it 8 times 8 different ways. You have to teach it 8 times 8 different ways. I think it's the same thing for us. I found another statistic that said we must contact our prospects, sorry, I got a nap, a minimum of 7 times in an 18-month period for them to even remember us. 7 times in 18 months for them to even remember us. So in the back of our minds, we're thinking that we're driving people crazy. They don't even know who we are. So I can't tell you the people that I have had on Facebook, and I feel like I post pretty consistently. I mean, I post at least 3 times a day, usually 5 times a day. The people that I have come in contact with, even my own personal friends that have bought 21 Day Fix or some other program from an infomercial or from Amazon or from somebody else because they just didn't realize that they could get it from me, or they had forgotten that they could get it from me. Have you guys ever, let me see a show of hands, how many people have told you, oh, I bought that from an infomercial? We're not following up enough. So, one of the things that I've learned as a coach, and I'm continuing to learn, is that following up doesn't just create immediate sales, but it creates potential sales for the future. So I have to remind myself that the purpose of following up with someone is not just to close the deal, right? I don't follow up with you because I want you to buy today. I mean, yes, I do want you to buy today, but that can't be my long-term goal, right? I have to follow up with you, and I have to make sure that I'm giving you enough information, enough valuable information to be able to make a decision. So the reason why it takes people 7 to 8 times to commit to purchase something is because there's so much information. I mean, do you guys not Google everything? If you want to know something, do you not Google it? So that's what people do. We give them a little bit of information, and then they go Google it, and they get 15 other different products that are comparable to ours. And if we're not continuing to follow up and give them valuable information, they're going to look for different options. They're going to look for cheaper options. And if we truly believe, if you truly believe, and you have to truly believe that we have the best products and we want people to commit to us, then you have to follow up with people and you have to give them that information. Because if you don't tell them what you want them to know, they're going to go to Google, and Google may not give them what we want them to know. So here's another statistic. I'm the statistics girl today. 63% of people requesting more information, right? So you follow up with someone and they say, yeah, I would love to hear more about it, will not purchase for at least 3 months. 20% will take more than 12 months to commit. So by contacting them every 3 months or sooner, we build a trust with them, and we help keep ourselves at the top of their mind. So what do? We know these statistics, right? We know that if we want to be in the top 12%, we have to continue to follow up. So the first thing on our list should be to build a system that allows us to consistently follow up with people. So I'm going to tell you about a plan. And this is a plan that I actually just made as I was researching, talking to you guys. So I am going to make a plan to consistently follow up with all of my contacts that tell me no every other month until I've talked to each of them 7 times. Okay, so what that means then is that I've made 7 contacts in 14 months, which meets the requirements of what we heard of, earlier about needing to contact people at least 7 to 8 times in 18 months. So here's the kicker. Even if they tell me no, I'm not going to erase them from my memory. They're going to tell me no 7 times in 14 months, but I'm still not going to erase them from my memory or from my list because it may not be the right time for them. And that's pretty much why people tell us no, is either they seriously are not interested or it's just not the right time. These will be people that I probably will continue to target for things like free groups. And I'll tell you, I'm not very good at running free groups. I just ran my first free group that I've done probably in 4 or 5 months. And I have so many people in there. It's ridiculous. I didn't think anybody would be interested, to tell you the truth, because last month was it was a killer for me. I had a hard time getting the 7 Success Club points that I did get. I killed myself to get them. But the people that joined this free group and the people that are engaged are the people that I want to help. They're the people that need help and the people that I need to continue to follow up with, whether they tell me no or not. So here comes the research. So here's the advice from the experts, which is not me. 3 tips. Don't be a cherry picker. And this kind of hit home. This kind of hit home with me. So every time we run an ad or an event, we get leads. And these leads, as you guys know, can be divided into 3 categories. They're either hot leads, warm leads, or cold leads, right? So hot leads are people that are ready now. Warm leads are people that will be ready soon. And cold leads are people that may not ever be ready, or they're just bad leads. The problem is that as you're looking at your list, you don't know who falls in what category, right? You run an event, 25 people say they're interested or they're going. You don't know if they're hot, warm, or cold because you've never talked to them before. So what I was doing, honestly, is that I was contacting everybody once or twice, saying, are you interested? And I would focus my attention on those that kept asking questions and that I knew were interested and that were going to buy something from me. That's where the cherry picking comes in. I was leaving my warm leads to turn cold. I was focusing so much on my hot leads, so much on the people that were buying now and not following up with my warm leads, that by next month they were cold and not interested anymore. And I call it low-hanging fruit. I was targeting the low-hanging fruit, the people that I know were going to commit. The warm leads are people that are going to keep us successful in the future. And I honestly have been neglecting those people. And I think honestly, you have to continue to target your hot leads. You have to continue to get those people engaged and joining you, but we cannot forget about, the warm leads. We can't tell the difference between warm leads and bad leads until we contact them and sort them out. And if we do reach a prospect and the timing isn't right, I honestly didn't have the patience, or, I wasn't consistently following up with them. So we have to spend just as much time or more on our warm leads as we do our hot leads, because warm leads are what, like I said, keeps us successful in the future. So I'm interested in how many of you guys divide your contacts out into hot leads and warm leads, and how many of you focus on your warm leads, and if you can give us any advice on that.
Sorry, I don't want to be a talker.
No, it's fine. I want you guys to talk.
After, it's still a work in progress, but after watching Corey's call with the guest speaker on Teensy, you guys, that's going to be a game changer. So we just uploaded it last night. And I can even tell my coach list is wrong because I see all Jamie's coaches in there. So it's a work in progress, and you have to do a lot of work up front, but it will allow you to rate your customers. And this is the dirty work you have to do before, but then it will force you every day. You wake up and it tells you what to do. So if you have that low-hanging fruit versus that person that you have to talk to for 2 years, it tells you when to do it. It is, you guys, it is unbelievable. I was using Streak half-ass, but I'm just telling you it's going to be ugly for a while just because you have to rate everybody. But that long-term, for your to contact your coaches and your entire downline, to attract customers, Facebook contacts, it's, oh my gosh. This guy that created it was a genius. So that's just my 2 cents to add in there, because I think if you take the time and do it, it's going to help you do everything you said we should do.
And that's actually a great intro into my next tip, which is timing is everything. No, it was awesome. It was awesome. So people are going to commit when they're ready to commit, right? We know that people are going to commit to a challenge group or commit to our team when they're ready to commit. not when we're ready for them to commit, which means, even more importantly, we have to consistently follow up because we don't know when they're going to be ready. And if we're cherry picking, we may get it wrong. So none of us are psychic, and we have to consistently and religiously follow up. And that leads me into, you have to have a system and a process. You have to have TeamZ. You have to have Excel. You have to have a notebook. I don't really care what it is, whatever works for you. You have to have it because the system is going to be what helps you make sure that you're consistently and religiously following up as you need to. And TeamZ is good, Christine, because it puts people on a 90-day schedule, but I think you can change that to like a 60-day schedule, which is what I want to do with my people. It was a little bit overwhelming to me in the beginning, but I think the concept is spot on as far as what we need to do. And then tip number 3 from the experts is education, repetition, and variety. So education. Our follow-ups must inform people. They have to provide value. I mean, how many times have we heard that? You have to provide value to people if you want them to commit, to what it is that you're doing. So if we're showing up with no value, honestly, we're pecker gnats. Just throwing it out there. Right? I mean, we're just annoying people. So you have to give them information they need, and the information they need depends on their why. So this is where building a relationship comes in. Yes, it's a business. Yes, we're selling stuff, but you have to build trust in a relationship with people, and you have to care about their success as much as they care about it. You have to genuinely care about helping them achieve their goals. Because if you don't, then you're just selling to them, and they're going to see right through that. Repetition. It's a proven fact that human beings have to hear the same thing over and over before it sinks in. We've talked about that 7 times, 8 times, 8 ways. So you may know Shakeology like the back of your hand, but people don't get it the first time that you tell them. And you feel like So don't make the mistake of thinking that because you've said it one time, somebody gets it. Right? I mean, we feel like we are repetitious and that we're saying the same thing over and over and over. And I'm just as guilty as that. I feel like I'm constantly trying to mix things up because I'm afraid I'm saying the same thing over and over. But it's really not true. And the statistics even say so. Chances are they're not getting it on the first, second, and even third time. You have to tell them the same thing over and over, 8 different times, 8 different ways in order for them to get it. And you have to show them. You have to show them by posting on social media, I think at least 3 times a day, probably 5. I had someone today post on my social media page that I was an effing rock star, and she was so glad that she was finally seeing my posts, and I've been friends with this person for 5 years. So don't think that everybody is seeing the same thing over and over, because they're not. So you have to be proof the product works. They're vital behaviors for a reason. You have to show people that they're working, and you have to believe in them yourself, and they will see that you're using the products because they work, not just because you're trying to sell them something. And number 3 is variety. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is something that I struggle with. Okay. And when they talk about variety, they talk about incorporating different ways of contacting people. I have been the victim of using my Facebook page consistently and solely as my means of contacting people. But we should be emailing them. We should be calling them. We should be texting them. Our method of contact has to be more than just using Facebook. And the reason why, and you've heard Jamie say it over and over again too, this is why we ask for people's email. This is why we ask for people's phone number. When you meet someone, you get their contact information. You don't get their Facebook page. You can look up anybody on Facebook. You need to have a method of contacting people. Everyone's different. And while someone may prefer a Facebook message, there are others that don't. There are others that will respond to your text message or to your call way before they will respond to your Facebook message. And I am saying this as a guilty party, because I have primarily used Facebook to build everything, but I am going to start stepping outside of my comfort zone and emailing, texting, and calling people to get them engaged. Christine, did you have something?
Well, and that, I'm sorry, I don't mean to, let me wait till the end.
No, it's okay.
I don't keep interrupting you. This is so good. Oh my gosh, like this is amazing. And I wish some of my people are on here. This is going to be recorded, right, Jamie? Okay, thank you. Okay, so it's twofold because I do it too. I was trying to get people transferred to email, and then, you know, because I have their email address, but then it's very confusing, and I know a lot of top coaches do email, but for me, I was having a hard time transitioning from one to the next because it's kind of like, okay, where am I going to talk to you? We're going to do email, we're going to do Facebook. And I personally have a very bad habit of during the day not checking my email. It's something I need to be better at. I check Facebook. And like society and the millennials, and I'm not a millennial. I'm sure half of you are. I ain't no millennial. But they don't use email. Like my husband was telling me at work, all those young folks, they don't use email. So I found that very interesting. So when we're done, I'd like to get feedback from everybody on like what kind of success that you have. So, okay, that's my,
yep.
I agree with what you're saying. And like I know Meg texts a lot of people, Meg Wazinski, yep. But that's just my, so again, if you guys can give me some feedback.
Well, I totally agree with what you were saying. And as I was looking through the research that I was, studying to get prepared, I was saying the same thing to myself. I get zero response from email. Like I email people all the time and nobody ever emails me back. So I went to this research study that actually gave some statistics on how to get people to open your emails. So are you ready? Okay. 33% of emails are opened based on the subject line. We know that, right? I mean, you look at your email and you think, I'm not opening that. That's junk. 69% of emails that people report as spam are based on the subject line. And 40% of emails are opened on your mobile first, which means that, and you guys know when you open an email on your mobile, you only see like the first 4 to 7 words that are there. So you're opening it based on what you're seeing in a sentence, right? So emails with the word you in the subject line were opened 10% less. Emails with the word quick in the subject line were opened 10% less. Emails with the forward sign, like you're forwarding an email, were open 17% less. So don't forward an email to somebody if you're wanting them to read something because they're not going to open it. Email with the words newsletter in the subject line were open 20% less. So if you're emailing somebody your newsletter, don't put newsletter in the subject line. Emails with the word daily or weekly were open less. And subject lines with 3 or more words were opened less than those with 1 to 2 words. So short, sweet, to the point, tell them what you want them to know in a couple of words. Here's the emails that were opened more. Emails with the word free in the subject line were opened more. Emails with the word tomorrow were opened 10% more. This is what I find interesting. Emails with no subject were actually opened 8% more than those with a subject. No idea. I know, it's weird. Emails with the word, get this, emails with the word alert were opened 62% more times. So we're gonna all start alerting people. Using the word sale, new, or video boost your open rates. Sale, new, or video. And personalizing your subject lines actually create a 25% more open rate, which means that, if you're using like MailChimp like I am, you can't really personalize the subject, but if you take the time to send out a couple of personal emails and you put their name in the subject line, those are getting open more often. And the top 5 emails, according to this research study, the top 5 emails that were opened actually contained the word or the acronym RE, like related to, like RE : RE sale tomorrow, RE, new product. Those were the top 5 emails that were opened. Every one of them had RE : So I don't know what that means. I just know that's what this study showed. So that's basically all I have. I hope that I provided some value and information to you guys today, but I will open it up if you have questions for me, if we just want to have dialogue about what we talked about.
Okay, let me unmute. Well, I'll have to say that was awesome. I mean, I like hearing statistics for one, because I think that's very eye-opening. I will say, I think I said that, who was I talking to this morning? I don't remember. But follow-up is truly where I lack. I know it is. And because of a system. That's why I'm so beyond excited about Team Z and plugging into that. I liked your stuff about the email. And yeah. Christine, I'm with you. I go from email and then I forget who in the heck I'm even over there talking to on email. And then I go back to Facebook and like, oh, I sent you an email. And I'm like, crap, who the heck am I even talking to? So I'm not good with going back and forth either. But anyway, I don't know. Is there anybody on here that does email and you're good at it? I would love to know too. Like how.
I just started using email. I just kind of started converting everybody over about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And what I did was I've been using Teamzy for 2 months now, but just kind of got consistent with it in the last couple of weeks. So what I've been doing is, first of all, if you're thinking of using Teamzy, you do not have to rate everybody as soon as you sign up. I did that for like an hour and got tired of it and quit. So now just as their names pop up, I change their rating and do what I want with them. So don't feel overwhelmed like you have to do that at first. So what I've been doing is whenever somebody pops up and I start forming them and forming a relationship, I always say something along the lines of, just depending on how the conversation's going, my Facebook Messenger's being glitchy. I always, after talking to them for a minute, try to think of something that I can send them. I always have in the back of my mind, like I can Google like a BuzzFeed video or something like that has something to do with what we're talking about. And I'll say my Messenger's being glitchy. Can you send me your phone number and email so I can like text it or email it to you? And then go straight over to Teamzy and paste their Facebook link in Teamzy. There's a spot for it. Paste their phone number and paste their email. And then whenever you do send them an email, either text them or Facebook message them and say, hey girl, I just sent you an email. Check it out and tell me what you think. Or, if you're at the point where you're sharing the message, tell them that, you want to send them all the information in an email. Can they send that to you and give you a text, a phone number to text them to follow up because your messenger's glitchy. That's just what I always use. My messenger is glitchy and nobody's had a problem giving me their information.
I haven't really been good at anything except Facebook, to be honest with you. I'm just being honest. It's probably why I haven't grown. I haven't texted people. I email people, information, but I primarily use Facebook to follow up with people.
I guess I have a question. Why not use just Facebook? I mean, why go take that person out of Facebook and put them into emailing it?
No, I don't think you take them out of Facebook. I think what they were trying to say in the study was that there are a lot of people that are on Facebook that don't use Facebook response as their number one. That don't use Facebook Messenger as their number one response. So yes, I'm on Facebook. And I think about people that maybe are my age or or a little older, and they're on Facebook to connect with people that they graduated with, 30 years ago or whatever, but they don't use it as their primary point of contact. So they prefer a phone call or a text message, which is what my husband, who sells insurance, constantly tells me. But he deals with a lot of seniors, and he said, I'm not going to Facebook message them, Cara, and ask them if they want to buy insurance. I'm going to get on the phone and call them and tell them what I have to offer, and see if they want more information. So I think for us, Facebook is common and it's a go-to. I just think there are some people that probably don't use it primarily.
But also another reason is, number one, you can have your Facebook page canceled at any time, with no control over that. Number two, like this is just one example. A friend of mine who I've been communicating with on Facebook, her husband's in the Secret Service and he just got assigned to the president's detail. She had to kill all of her social media, like right then. Yeah. So if I didn't have her phone number and email, I've just lost contact with her.
I have the same thing, Melissa. I have one of my very best friends whose husband is a very high-ranking officer with the DEA, and they don't. Their phone number and everything is unlisted in the phone book. They don't have Facebook because he doesn't want people trying to kill him and his family. So, not that that's the norm, but there are people out there like them.
Yeah, it happens. Or, like some woman has like a psycho ex-boyfriend. She's sort of a fake, just different things, all kinds of things.
This is Phyllis. I'm not on video. And, I'm 47. My background's in education. I think it kind of might depend upon your niche market though, too, because as an educator, and that's my niche market, are teachers or former teachers, they're used to email, but they're also getting used to like Facebook and other forms of technology. I have not had any luck with email, like none, zero, zilch. But Facebook messaging, text messages, and with some people the phone, but really Facebook has been what works for me.
I'm with you. I'm the same. But I think it's worked for me because I haven't really reached out to do the others. I don't know that the others aren't working for me because I'm not doing them.
Hey, Phyllis, can you hear me? I don't know if she's still on there.
Yes, I can.
Hey, share that last part that you just sent me about what you did with Team Z.
Well, I did the trial with Team Z, and it was before Corey. I had started it, actually, it like renews tomorrow. So I started it like April 6th. And I think Melissa was the one who told me about it. Melissa's in my downline. And so I'm like going through, and I spent hours, guys. I have like 2,000 Facebook friends plus all of my customers from 4 years of coaching. I spent one whole day ranking people. So yes, you can get caught up in it. But now I have it set up so like I have 9 prospects per day that I'm reaching out to, 6 customers, 4 coaches in my downline. And in doing that, what ended up happening, last Thursday, I was at 1 Success Club point, 1. And I had been reaching out to somebody who wasn't even on my radar. She came up in my Team Z list. About the second week, we started communicating back and forth. And then she saw one of my posts and messaged me and said, okay, how can I try this Shakeology? Not on my radar, not in my 10 and playlist, not anybody I was even thinking about. So that was one of my challenge packs. The other, I didn't realize that one of my coaches who had been inactive had actually been canceled. Shame on me for not noticing. But she was in my coach follow-up, and I messaged her. She signed back up as a coach with a challenge pack and is ready to work her business. So 2 challenge packs, earned Success Club, totally because Team Z told me to reach out to these people on these days. Absolutely worth $30 a month. 1 Shakeology order, totally worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, thank you for the motivation to go get my butt on it now.
Yep.
And that's, like Melissa said, if you can't sit down, I don't have little people, so I was able to just block a whole afternoon and evening out and just plow through and rank everybody. But if you don't have it, you can also just rank them as they come up too. So,
I'm sorry.
And I have a lot of 1s. I have a lot of Beachbody coaches in my feed. So I rank them 1. I don't want to be in contact with them. They're not my prospects.
Yeah. And I actually did mine a little bit differently. I actually went through and deleted out everyone that I knew was a Beachbody coach, and then I ranked everybody as a 3 because I wanted to follow up with all of them at the same time.
Right.
I don't know if that's going to work or not, but that's what I chose to do.
And
Good idea.
Think the ranking, isn't it like 30 days is a 5, 60 days is a 4, 90 days is a 3, and 120 days is a 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
That's
you can go in.
default.
I think you can go in and change that too. Like I ranked all of my people as a 3. I think I can move them from 90 to 60. I just need to invest more time.
Right. But if you message somebody or if you're having a communication with somebody and whenever you pick your follow-up, it'll say default, which would be that 30, 60, 90, 120, or you can pick, follow up tomorrow, 2 days, 4 days, 1 week. So you can pick when you follow up as well.
So Phyllis, I'm glad that you said that because I wanted to ask a question. Since this is a training on follow-ups, I think this is where I fall short on my follow-ups. Whenever I finally share the message and I share like videos, does anybody have a follow-up strategy for that once the message happens? Like, follow up in 2 days, follow up and then follow up in 3 days and blah, 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 like a whole, y'all know what I'm saying?
Just from what I read and what we've been taught is that the very first follow-up should happen in 48 hours, no more than 48 hours. And in that follow-up, you need to, by this time, hopefully you've already talked to these people, you've already developed a relationship with them, you already know your why, right? This is just your follow-up to asking them to commit to something. So, in your 48-hour follow-up, you need to ask for a commitment. You need, I don't just email them and say, I sent you a message, just wanted to see if you got a chance to look at it. You need to send them a message and say, hey, I sent you an email about the 21-day group. I'm collating my people to get together, next week. I need to know, are you interested? I'm not trying to be pushy. I just don't want to leave you out if you are. And that's usually.
Yeah. And I think I think that's my problem is I do, hey, I sent you a message.
Yeah, I did. I think we all do that. I did that too. Like, yeah, because you're just trying to, to engage and have conversation. But what I found is that I was wasting a lot of time, doing that. And
Melissa, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I was back and take it old school and go back to the 5 star you're sending them. You're coming right back and you're saying something to the effect of, hey, Melissa, I sent you that video. Did you get a chance to watch it? And then, what about it appealed to you? You can just take it back and go old school. And it works for a reason.
Yeah. The very first message that I send someone, like if I've created an event and they've clicked interested or going, the very first message that I send to them is, hey, Melissa, you clicked going or interested in my event. Tell me what interests you in joining this group. Because I want to know and especially if I don't know them, if it's somebody I don't know, because I want to connect with them and I want to find out what their why is. And I want to be able to help them understand this is the right place for them. And then once I've done that, then I send them the information and then I say, are you ready to commit?
Okay.
Now I need to apply all of this to building a team. Kristen's pointing her finger at me.
You can work out Success Club points a month.
I know.
Yeah.
Said I'm not perfect.
No, you're pretty close.
Oh, stop it.
She's smart.
Very, very.
I just got to get outside my comfort zone, like my husband said. Keep going.
True. Yes. All right. That was awesome, though. Thank you guys for everybody asking questions and chiming in. I mean, I like those kind of calls where I can walk away and okay, I feel like I can do that now. So hopefully that helps everyone. So I will get the recording up so you guys can pass it on as soon as it's up. Yes. Christine. So thanks guys so much for hopping on. Have a good rest of your day. And some of you I'll see next week. Bye.